Today our topic is the dichotomy of control. Life is full of challenges, and often we find ourselves stressed, worried, or overwhelmed by things that happen around us. But what if I told you that the key to peace and happiness lies in understanding one simple idea? This idea is called the dichotomy of control, and it comes from Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life. The dichotomy of control is about understanding what is within our power and what is not. Once we understand this, we can focus our energy on what we can change and let go of what we cannot. This is the secret to finding peace in a chaotic world. First, let's talk about what the dichotomy of control means. The word dichotomy means a division into two parts. In this case, the two parts are things we can control and things we cannot control. The Stoics believe that most of our suffering comes from trying to control things that are beyond our power. For example, we cannot control the weather, other people's opinions, or whether we get sick. These things are external, and they are not up to us. On the other hand, we can control our thoughts, our actions, and how we respond to what happens to us. These things are internal, and they are within our power. The key to peace is to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. Let me give you an example. Imagine you are waiting for a bus, and it is late. You start to feel frustrated and angry because you are going to be late for an important meeting. But think about it. Can you control the bus? No, you cannot. The bus driver, the traffic, and the schedule are all outside of your control. What can you control? You can control how you react to the situation. Instead of getting angry, you can use the time to relax, read a book, or plan your day. By focusing on what you can control, you turn a frustrating situation into an opportunity for peace and productivity. This idea is not just about small things like buses. It applies to everything in life. For example, you cannot control whether you get a promotion at work, but you can control how hard you work and how you treat your colleagues. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control how kind and respectful you are to them. You cannot control the past or the future, but you can control how you think about them and how you live in the present moment. When you focus on what you can control, you take responsibility for your life. You stop blaming others or the world for your problems, and you start to feel empowered. Now, let's talk about why this is so important. When we try to control things that are beyond our power, we waste our energy and create unnecessary stress. For example, if you spend hours worrying about what people think of you, you are trying to control something that is not in your hands. People's opinions are their own, and they can change at any time. Instead of worrying, you can focus on being the best version of yourself. When you do this, you will find that people respect you more, and you will feel more confident and at peace. Another reason why the dichotomy of control is important is that it helps us to accept reality. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things do not go the way we want. We may face failure, loss, or disappointment. But when we understand that these things are outside of our control, we can accept them more easily. Acceptance does not mean giving up or being passive. It means recognizing the truth and focusing on what we can do to improve the situation. For example, if you fail an exam, you cannot change the result, but you can learn from your mistakes and prepare better for the next one. By accepting reality, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering and open the door to growth and improvement. The Stoics believe that the only thing we truly own is our mind. Everything else, our possessions, our reputation, even our body, can be taken away from us. But no one can control how we think or how we choose to respond to life's challenges. This is why the dichotomy of control is so powerful. It reminds us that we always have a choice. Even in the worst situations, we can choose to stay calm, to be kind, and to focus on what we can control. This is the essence of freedom. Let me give you another example. Imagine you are stuck in traffic. You cannot control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to get angry and frustrated, or you can choose to accept the situation and use the time to listen to music, think about your goals, or simply relax. The choice is yours. When you choose to focus on what you can control, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the master of your own life. The dichotomy of control also teaches us to be humble. When we realize how little we can control, we become more grateful for what we have. We stop taking things for granted and start appreciating the small moments of joy in life. For example, you cannot control whether the sun will shine tomorrow, but you can enjoy the sunshine today. You cannot control whether you will live a long life, but you can make the most of the time you have. Gratitude and humility are the keys to a happy and peaceful life. Now let's talk about how to apply the dichotomy of control in everyday life. The first step is to become aware of what you can and cannot control. Whenever you feel stressed or worried, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, let it go. Focus on what you can do instead. For example, if you are worried about a job interview, you cannot control the questions they will ask or the decision they will make. But you can control how you prepare for the interview and how confident you are during it. By focusing on what you can control, you reduce your anxiety and increase your chances of success. The second step is to practice acceptance. When things do not go the way you want, remind yourself that this is part of life. Accept the situation and look for ways to move forward. For example, if you lose your job, you cannot change the past, but you can start looking for new opportunities and improving your skills. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means facing reality with courage and determination. The third step is to focus on the present moment. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. The only moment you have is now. By focusing on the present, you can make the most of your time and energy. For example, instead of worrying about what might happen tomorrow, focus on what you can do today to improve your life. When you live in the present, you feel more alive and more at peace. Finally, remember that the dichotomy of control is not about being indifferent or uncaring. It is about being wise and practical. It is about understanding that some things are beyond our control, and that trying to change them will only lead to frustration. Instead of wasting your energy on things you cannot change, focus on what you can do to make a positive difference in your life and in the lives of others. This is the path to peace, happiness, and fulfillment. In conclusion, the dichotomy of control is a simple but powerful idea. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. By doing this, we can reduce our stress, accept reality, and live more meaningful lives. Life is full of challenges, but with the right mindset, we can face them with courage and grace. Remember, the only thing you truly control is your mind. Use it wisely, and you will find the peace you are looking for.